Welcome back, Empire's finest, the long-awaited return. We are here, the New York boys, back in studio, back on Zoom. It's been a while. I think we skipped 2 weeks in a row. Well,
Yeah, I
the
think
week
it was
before was
2 weeks.
Thanksgiving, dude. Honestly, I had a great idea for the Thanksgiving episode. It was we were gonna do a fucking banging Thanksgiving episode because no one else talks about the Thursday night games after Thanksgiving. They gotta wait till Monday for the big media to get to that. So just a disaster. But I mean, first of all, Font, how you doing? It's been a while.
Yeah, no, I'm doing good, man. I'm fucking working. Uh, put in a lot of OT because Christmas is coming up. I need some money. Not for
Everybody
gifts
needs a
for
new
other
pair of
people.
shoes,
Gifts for myself. Yeah, not gifts for other people. Gifts for myself.
Oh, strictly for you, Font. What are you
Maybe a
buying
few
yourself
other.
for Christmas?
Maybe a few. I already bought the new Xbox.
Don't you have a PS5?
Yeah, so now
What
I
do you
got
need
both.
both for?
I need the Xbox for Halo.
Fair point. I can't believe you bought a brand new Xbox with a free game though. That's kind of crazy. It's free
All I
multiplayer.
all I all I bought this system for is for Halo, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Like that's the
Honestly,
only game I'll have on there.
I can't. I'm not even gonna say anything differently because back in 2016, my first year at Coastal, I was broke as fuck. I won a March Madness pool, and the only thing that I bought with it was a used PlayStation 3. I think it was. Yeah, used PlayStation 3, so I could play MLB The Show because that was on an Xbox until this year, and then thank God it's on Xbox. I don't have to worry. That system's gone. All right, we're back. Obviously, too long, 2 weeks off. I There's kind of a lot of stuff that's happened. Pretty much like we ended the before Thanksgiving, but there was like the big Vendetta Company survey, which we got some feedback on the shows.
Mhm.
That is going to start. We're going to hit our 2022 is going to be the year we're kind of revamping up. In case you guys missed it on That's and Cheese last week, or maybe the most recent episode, depending on when this actually comes out. Font was on it, and he kind of gave like a little programming note. Essentially, I'm in finals hell. I got
Yeah.
fucking the most. I got the three busiest classes in like the school's history, apparently, all in one semester. And what happens? You know what happens. You fall a little bit behind, and then when you're a little bit behind, you're fucking a decade behind. So I've been playing catch up for the last, I don't know, 2 weeks. I did mix in a little bit. Did go to away a little bit. We'll get to that, kind of towards the end of the show. But it's been a while. There's so much happened in New York sports. A lot for the Mets, like a lot for the Mets. Yankees have been super quiet. Obviously, there's a lockout. College football playoffs, NFL. Um, I don't really give a fuck about the NBA. And we are going to touch a little bit on the NHL just because I was at a hockey game this weekend. But
Oh, you were at a hockey game? Oh, I was at a hockey game last week.
you were in the Garden.
I went to the Ranger game. Yeah.
You were at the Garden. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina this weekend.
Oh, yeah, nice. You went to a Canes game.
Went to a Canes game. They were playing the Sabres. I guess we'll just do that off the top. I guess like kind of shitty timing for me considering I'm fucking swamped at school and everything that I had to go away and this weekend. But we booked this months ago. Yeah, months ago. We're going. So I got a good friend of mine. Not a friend of the program yet, but he's gonna be. We're gonna get him on these airways. Local 914 kid. He's on the Hurricanes. Brett Pesci. So we went down. He went to our high school. He's good friends with. My best friend is his little brother. So we're all mad close. So we booked this trip. We get an Airbnb, fucking sweet Airbnb down Raleigh in the like literally the worst spot. We're surrounded by the projects. First night there, Font, gunshots. The first night there.
Gunshots.
We get in, we fly in at 10:30. I'm at the house by 11. I'd say 11:15. There's bop, 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 bop. I was like, oh shit.
Dude,
yeah.
I don't know why, but every Airbnb I've stayed at like two Airbnbs, and it's always been for like some weird like event thing going on for like a day or two. Always in the hood.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like,
stayed at one in DC for New Year's like 4 or 5 years ago, and it was it was the hood. Like we didn't belong there. Like everybody that would see us drive by or walk into the house was breaking their neck staring at us. Like, what are they doing here?
it was crazy. We're kind of in a similar spot. I was in like the middle of like a super like gentrified, I think is the word, is like the term, but like very small, like one floor houses, like not that big. And then the Airbnb was literally just a brand new house, 3 stories high, like,
Oh yeah.
and it
Yeah.
was like, you, bro, you do not belong here. Like, I'm sure the people that like lived in the neighborhood as they were building the house were freaking out. But the reason I bring up that I was at the Canes game is because, well, first of all, Brett didn't play because of COVID protocols. That kind of sucked. So the reason we went down there to go see our boy, he couldn't even play. Not only could he not play, couldn't even leave his house. So we couldn't
Damn.
even get to see him. So that kind of sucked. But they were playing the Sabres, one of New York's 3 hockey teams. And you know what they say about Buffalo. They travel well. They're diehard Bills fans. Bro, I was in the middle of the most like escalated situation I've ever been in the stadium with a kid and an adult. There were these 3 like Sabre kids behind me. They were with their parents. One of their parents was actually wearing Hurricane jerseys. I don't know if they were from Buffalo or from Carolina, but they were just like, these kids were going hard. They were like, "Oh, you guys don't even know what hockey is. You discovered hockey 10 years ago." Like, yada, yada, yada. Kind of funny. Kind of like, their kids were probably like 12, maybe like 10, 12, that area.
12 years old.
They're they're going hard, but I mean, respectful. They're not cursing. Obviously, they're kind of funny. I was chuckling. Like, you're right. Like, half these people probably didn't know what hockey was, 15, 20 years ago. But so all of a sudden, I got a few drunkies in front of me, and one kid goes, "Hey, kid, shut up." That fucking triggered the New York mom. "You don't talk to my fucking son like that. You should be ashamed. There's kids here trying to enjoy the game." Yada, yada, yada. All I'm saying is, I've told the story in the air. I'm happy that there was a stadium altercation that I was not in the middle of.
That you were not involved in?
I had
Because
no part. I kept my mouth shut.
last time you were at a Hurricanes game.
It, that probably was the last Hurricanes game I was at, actually. That 2019, and then pandemic season. Probably that was it. So I'm glad it wasn't me. Hurricanes won 6-2. It was a great game. PK Subban has a brother?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He's a
Yeah.
really shitty goalie. And
Yeah. He's not. He's not. He's
but
not.
I mean, I went to NC State, walked around the campus. I didn't get a chance to go to Duke, but I don't know. That was it. That was my weekend. And now I'm in school.
That's a fun weekend.
Paying for it. It is nice. A boys trip is always much needed. Fucking 7 kids in a house. You can imagine how hectic that got. And especially, I had kids flying from Austin. It's all our hometown boys. We all came together. So it was a good time. But that was this weekend. Let's go back. We had arguably the best 72 to 96 hours in baseball free agency that I can remember. If you go back a few years ago, Bryce Harper didn't sign until February.
Nope.
Who else was the big free agent that year? That didn't sign.
That was Manny. That was the Manny and Bryce
Machado.
year.
Also didn't sign until I think late January, early February. Now, because of the impending lockout, we had, like I said, arguably the best 72 hours in MLB free agent history. Very newsworthy, noteworthy. Everyone was, on their Twitter, on the Twitter sphere, on the apps with the Heyman notifications turned on. All those guys. And the New York Mets, without a manager, after just bringing in Billy Epler, which I don't even know if we talked about that. Did we talk about that?
I don't even think we really got to. Maybe we did a little bit.
Maybe I blogged it. I don't really remember what was going on, but the New York Mets signed Max Scherzer, a fucking huge deal. I think it was 44.3 mil for 3 or 40, something like that.
Oh yeah, he's making a lot of money
with an opt-out after 2. Shattered Cole's AAV annual whatever the fuck annual salary per year, what it balances out to. Smashes it. By far the biggest AAV contract the Mets have even given out. Lindor 10 years last year got like 31 a year. This guy's getting 34 or some ridiculous number. I'm stoked. I think the craziest part about this is that he's not even the ace on the staff. He's going to be the number 2. He's not going to be the open day starter. But I'm excited. I didn't think it was going to happen, especially based off the trade deadline conversation we had, in July, where he was like, he's not coming to New York, yada, yada, yada. He went West Coast. That was kind of still maybe the case. It's funny that Scott Boras is his agent after all that shit I was talking about Scott Boras and the King of Queens and Conforto and talking all that smack. I think it's it was a good 72 hours to be in that span. Now we're in a lockout, but we don't have a manager. But there's so much to go on. I mean, give me your thoughts. You think Mets overpaid? You think it was a good deal? What are you thinking?
I mean, I think paying 44 mil a year for a 37-year-old pitcher is a lot. Granted though, it's Stevie Cohen and his beautiful money, so clearly he doesn't give a crap, and neither do I. Really, it's baseball, man. You don't have a salary cap for a reason. If you got the money, spend it. Like this is what I want the Yankees to be doing.
Yeah, I mean the Mets have definitely not shied away from spending. I don't think that they're going to be done. Obviously teams and players can't
Nah,
go.
they're not done.
They're not.
The Mets still have a lot of work. They still have a lot of stuff
They're
to do.
definitely not done. I think whether I really think that Steven Matz saying no to the Mets really triggered Steve Cohen because he went on that he tweeted about it. He was all pissed off. Trey blogged about it. But like after that, he's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna sign everyone that I can and take all, he'll eat the hit. I don't know if you're looking at this team right now, I don't know if this team's gonna be a World Series team right now. They still need a lot of starting pitching. They let Stroman walk, which that's what we were gonna do. We were supposed to have your boy Trav on here. I want to see fucking Stroman's burner face to face with me. We're gonna have a conversation.
Stroman's burner.
No, do you know this kid in real life or no? Or you just know him on Twitter?
Yeah. No, he was.
Where is he from? Why can't I hear you? Hold on. All right, I'm put my AirPods in. Something's bugging out.
Let me know when you can hear me. I'll continue.
Oh, now I can hear you. All right, we're good.
Okay, good.
All right, technical.
Okay.
We're gonna
Whatever. He lived next door to me, and when I was dormant in MSB for 2 years, he was on the same floor.
Oh, he's a Mount St. Vincent boy?
Yeah. And no, he's a Mount St. Vincent alum.
And he's a Carolina Panther fan?
His family's from Carolina. He's a Panthers fan. I know a Clemson Tiger fan. He's a Yankee fan. What else is he? Random stuff. San Jose.
Yeah, I need
Sharks
to get this guy in fucking studio. We need to get him in the Zoom because I need to know why he was writing hashtag ads for Trevor Stroman for fucking Marcus Stroman. It was insane. And Stroman fucking quote tweeted it. If you didn't know better, if I didn't know that, if I hadn't seen Travis on my timeline or Coach Trav on my timeline up until this point, I would have 100% blogged that as I have found Marcus Stroman's burner account on Twitter. So, yeah. So that little side.
Yeah, I do personally know the Marcus Stroman burner account. That is correct.
The biggest Cam Newton fan in the world. Listen,
yes.
I am appreciative of him because he is the one who put me in Panthers Twitter and let me know that Sam Darnold is actually really bad and it's not just the Jets and everything going on.
They actually hate Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Shout out Trav. So I mean, listen, they signed Starling Marte, Marcano, maybe. They signed a bunch of people from the A's.
I know they got Marte. I don't know about Canna yet.
I forget.
I know Marte though. I know it was Marte.
They got Max Scherzer. He has the second highest WAR I saw over the last 10 years, which is crazy. And like I said again, he still DeGrom 1, Scherzer 2. That's definitely the best 1-2 punch in baseball. I can't wait to have those guys in a playoff series when the time is right. And that's pretty much it. I mean, they're going to need more pitching. DeGrom's health is still a question, unfortunately. So we don't know if you're going to be able to get, 162 games from him, if he's going to be able to be in every day. If he's able to make his start every 5 days, that's still be determined. But I mean, Scherzer is a fucking baller. He didn't, the Dodgers didn't lose a game with him on the mound since after the trade and think until the playoffs. So that is good sign. We're trending forward. If Uncle Stevie's to be mad and just fucking signing blank checkbook, signing blank checks, it is what it is. Like I said, there's no manager yet, and they're in the process of conducting. There seems to be one clear favorite right now, Buck Showalter, and I am nervous about it. Very nervous about it. He's an old school guy. Apparently, he's not very analytic driven, and however you feel about analytics, there definitely is a reason why they're so influential in baseball. They're important, so you need to be able to have a blend of both. And from everything I'm reading and kind of gathering, he is not the most analytic guy, but he is definitely like a clubhouse manager. He knows how to work with the players. Apparently he's pretty strict, but he runs a pretty tight ship. But listen, Lindor and McNeil were fucking choking each other out in May last year. So if that's what
Yeah,
it's gonna
I
take.
think you need somebody like that.
And for some reason, Scherzer was like Scherzer was pretty vocal that he wants him to be the guy. I don't know why Scherzer is he's not the guy that I think. Even though we just gave him all this fucking money, he's still probably the third person on the list I'd want to listen to. It goes to Grom one, Lindor two, because Lindor's going to be here for a minute, and if this team's going to win, we're going to win around him. Despite how much Trey and
Damn,
other people say.
the disrespect to Pete. I'd listen to Pete over Lindor.
You're actually right. I'm sorry, Pete. I forgot about that. But it's pretty much it. I mean, Pete's a fucking.
You see, Pete, Mets fans don't even appreciate you. Come play first base for the Yankees.
Dude, we appreciate you. Shut up. Shut up. Keep that agenda out of here. I mean, listen, Pete was right. He said this in like late May, early June about the balls being juiced and how it's different for the free agent market. And
Yeah,
then
no,
comes
I
out
remember
that there's two different balls in the season. They didn't tell anyone. How much longer do you think Manfred's going to be the commissioner?
Wasn't it already confirmed that they used two balls?
I mean, it was confirmed because the pitchers knew. Everyone who touched the ball, everyone who played knew, but they never confirmed it to the fans or gambling or even made it semi-official. How much longer do you think Manfred's going to be around for real?
He's probably got enough. I can't see the owners firing him or voting him out. He's probably going to stay until his contract ends, which I'm pretty sure commissioners are always on a 10-year or on 10-year terms. And when did he take over for Bud? I think in 20.
It's been fucking forever. Was he the next one? It was Manfred.
Actually,
it was Bud then Manfred.
It was Bud then Manfred, and I think that was in 2012. No, 2014 maybe. Take a look. I know it was kind of recently.
It says he took over as the 10th commissioner on August 14, 2014. So
2014.
So yeah, August 14, 2014, and he became inducted on January 25th, and then he got reelected on. So he's through the 2024 term. Through the 2024 season is what Google says. Again, Google, not me. So like I said, I don't think he's going to continue, especially now as we get more and more gambling influence in the game, and we're going to need things to be, because a big thing is, injury reports, and Vegas needs to know if you're reducing the balls or not. It's going to affect the total, and all these things are going to play a big factor. Unless Manfred does something drastic in his, approach in the next, however long it's going to be, however long he's here for it, I can't see the owners picking him up again, especially after this freaking lockout and the letter to the fans he wrote. That was disgusting. Oh, it's just for the fans. No, dude, the fucking owners, and whose side do you want on the lockout? We'll go with there. You
side am I in the lockout? Not really. I kind of just want them to play. To be honest, it's the owners of whose side am I taking? The millionaires or the millionaires or the billionaires? You guys all have tons of money. I don't care. Honestly.
I just want to watch baseball.
I just want to watch baseball.
So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the same boat. I think they're kind of, both sides are pretty, on par. The owners, I don't know how true this is, but the owners wanting to have salary based on WAR, ridiculous. I
heard that idea. That was shot down very quickly. Did you hear the other idea that got thrown out during these meetings? I said we weren't even going to talk about CBA, but now we gotta, because some of the ideas I heard being thrown out about this was ridiculous. Did you hear the playoff format proposal proposed by the owners?
In what world do you think that you can pick who you play? That's so fucking
stupid. Do you believe
stupid.
that crap? Do you believe that?
I can't fucking believe it. No, I actually couldn't believe it.
The division winners pick who they play coming out of the wild card rounds, and 14 teams would make the playoffs.
I'm down for a bigger playoff too. I don't know. I don't know enough for a bigger playoff because I love playoff baseball. So the more playoff baseball we
To be
have,
honest, I don't think
the
we need a
better.
bigger playoff. I think the way it is now is fine. And I know people can use the argument of, well, there's a lot of times the wild card teams win the World Series. I mean, most recently the Nationals won the World Series, being the wild card team. Um, but I don't think it needs to get any bigger than it is, because once you get past the second wild card, like, yeah, there's some teams that are on the cusp of making it, but then like after maybe one or two teams, like that fall 2 games or 1 game short. After that, it's a huge drop off. It goes to like 7, 8 games out, 10 games out. So I think expanding it any further would be, I don't think it would be really necessary, but maybe extend the playoffs. Like maybe instead of the 1 game wild card, it's a best 2 out of 3.
For sure.
I mean, I'm always here for more baseball. I'm always here for more baseball. If I
More
get,
baseball it
you
always
know,
is.
if I
The
get
one
if I
thing
get more games out of the wild card round, I would love it.
the one thing that I do really take the player side on is that they don't want to be part of tanking organizations. And you're a team like Baltimore, or you're having a 110 loss season, like that sucks. And there should be some sort of like tanking penalty or whatever, however you determine that. Like there has to be some, what, especially in baseball, because in basketball you could tank 1 year, or even football, like less football, but specifically basketball, you can tank 1 year, you get the number one player out of the draft, you get like an Anthony Edwards or like a Zion, for example. Like your season is very different right away. A player can take over in basketball more. In football, you can tank for a good quarterback, but you look at the Jaguars, that didn't really work out. You look at the Jets, everyone's tanking for Trevor Lawrence, and it's
It's
still
very
early, but
weird.
it's
Yeah.
it's not a guaranteed fix, and especially in baseball when there's so many you can get drafted and not even make the major leagues to
Yeah,
begin with, but
baseball,
it could be
baseball
six
is like
years, or
yeah,
there's just so much shit
baseball.
going
It's like the
on.
draft is almost the draft. You can almost like not even look at, honestly, because guys take forever to come up, depending on who they are.
And most of the best
Unless they're
players don't
like
even get
really
drafted.
good.
Most of the best players don't even get
Yes.
drafted. They're getting
Mhm.
signed right out of right out of the womb, essentially, as the 15-year-olds. But look at Vladdy, not Junior. There's another Guerrero son. I don't know if you saw that video. It was circulating on Twitter. There's another
There's another
Vladdy
one.
Junior. There's a Vladdy Junior who's not. So I mean,
Don't tell
again,
me his name is Vladdy too.
I actually don't know, but it would be pretty fitting. But I mean, he's probably signed
That would be
already. Like he's
hilarious.
he's signed, ready to go. Like anywhere but the Yankees for those guys, and that's pretty much that. But it's pretty much it for CBA. While we're on the topic of expanding playoffs, we got the college football playoffs. We got the Final Four. Um, Bama,
I don't think anybody has any complaints about it.
Bama, Michigan, Georgia, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, the
Cincinnati.
first group
Everyone
of
got
five team to make it.
Yep.
Um,
Everyone got Cincinnati like they wanted.
who really wanted that though? People wanted it, but we're gonna see what happens on January 1st or whenever they play that
Or
game. It's gonna
December 31st.
December
I think they
31st,
play that
New
game.
Year's Eve day. Is it New Year's Eve or
Yeah,
New
what
Year's Day?
New Year's Eve
New
at
Year's Eve.
3:30. I think 3:30 is the Sugar Bowl, and then the whatever the other bowl is, I forget. But that
I
one's at
think
7.
I think Michigan kind of got screwed, having to face, if they're gonna win the national championship, they'll have to face Bama and Georgia. Um,
The only thing I can get on the I at this first of all, roll damn Tide. Someone call a laundromat because Tide's rolling all over the place. But
Fucking
I wouldn't have minded if Michigan got number 1, but I know why they did it, because if you would have put Bama at 2, Georgia at 3, it's like, do you really want to go and have Georgia and Alabama playing back-to-back games, essentially? You know what I mean? Like it was
no,
kind of
no,
like a
I
scheduling
get
thing.
why it was
Like
seeded that way.
I get why they seeded it that way. And also at the same time, Alabama was number 3 and beat the number 1 team in the country by 3 touchdowns. So, it's there's an argument for Michigan to be 1, but them being 2 is not bad at all.
I
Either.
guess in the way that I'm seeing it is that Michigan's getting punished for their loss to Michigan State, which is valid, obviously.
Mhm.
But I mean, Alabama did not, and then Michigan took care of business for the most part, like pretty handily in every other game. They They beat a good Penn State team. They beat Ohio State fucking
Well,
badly
finally beating Ohio State was the
and
icing on the cake for
badly.
them.
But like, how you still, I that Iron Bowl game, Bama Auburn this year, I Auburn a backup quarterback, no Bo Nix. You know, they're I
Rivalry
just
game.
I
Rivalry
just
game. The
don't.
Iron Bowl is different, man.
Yeah, but
It's throw it out the window. I
I don't
mean, you
know.
go and look what happened. Alabama scored 20 something points in that game, won in overtime. Their very next game is against the number one defense in the country, and they put up 41. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
that wasn't
it's
a very
just the
impressive game for
Iron Bowl.
Bama. I was really wrong. I took Georgia 6.5. I locked it in pretty early,
Oh
actually.
no, Alabama money line was the easiest bet you could ever made. When are you going to have Nick Saban as a plus 200 underdog?
I literally, I was talking this out in the college football chat, but I mean, Georgia was so far in my mind the best team in the country that wasn't close, and that obviously hindsight's 2020. Now, looking a little bit of a look ahead, the Bama Cincinnati spread's 13.5. Bama's minus 13.5. What side do you
I,
want on that? You land the points.
I'm I'm taking Bama like crazy. I'm hammering
Part of
Bama.
me, part of me really, really, really wanted to take Cincinnati and make it a close game. Like Cincinnati's okay. They have a good defense. Their secondary is great. They're in a lockdown. You know, Menchie tore his ACL for Bama. That kind of sucks. It's a big blow for them. But
That does suck, but at the same time, it's Alabama.
it's
What
SEC
they got,
football versus
they have
group,
depth. They have
group of
depth.
five football, and so that's kind of how it's going to shake out. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And then Georgia, Michigan, I think was 6.5, something like that. It was within
I
a touchdown. I'm probably going to take. I'll probably take both favorites. I'll parlay them, and then I'll put
Who's
the spread
favored in
there.
the Michigan Georgia game?
Oh, I think it's Georgia. I'll pull up the line right now just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Georgia
Not gonna
minus
lie to
6.
you. Not gonna lie to you. I may be getting persuaded because I got a friend from Michigan and he's obviously super hyped about this, but I may be getting persuaded by him. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like Michigan is I feel like Michigan's gonna be the other team to beat Georgia. Georgia's offense just isn't good enough. Stenson Bennett is not that good of a quarterback, and that kid Aiden Hutchinson on Michigan is a
He's gonna be the number one
he
pick. He's gonna be the number one pick.
he he's making a real good case to be the number one pick over Thibodeau. He's making a real good case, but he's gonna be killing Stenson Bennett all game. And at the same time, Michigan's got the right type of offense because they got a ground and pound, like abuse you type of offense. And no matter how good your defense is, there's only so much of that you'll be able to take, especially if your offense just keeps giving the ball back. If Michigan's defense keeps forcing Georgia in 3-and-out, 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 their defense is going to get real tired, and that game's going to be over. That game will be over real quick.
Yeah. So right now the line is Bama minus 14 versus Cincinnati. Over under is 58.
It's
And
already
then
moving. Damn,
yeah, I mean,
I gotta
I'm sure
lock
they're
that.
going to
I
keep
gotta lock
moving.
that now.
And then
Yeah, I
Georgia,
gotta lock that
Michigan,
now.
Georgia, Michigan, Georgia's an 8-point favorite. Total on that is 43.5. Yeah, it's a big total, a big difference. I think quick glance, if I'll take all four sides. I'll take sides and then totals. I'm gonna go with the over in Georgia, Michigan. 43
Yeah,
seems
100%.
it
I
seems
like it.
low.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And then I'll probably, honestly, if I'm gonna take Bama, I'm gonna take the over. But if I take Cincinnati, it'll be the under, and then keep because if Cincinnati's gonna keep it within 14, it's gonna be a pretty, 28, 14, something like that, 35-21, and 35-21 still. That's 56.
I could tell you, Bama,
that's good.
Cincy. I think the final score is going to be something like it'll probably be something around like 40, 45, 21. It's gonna be it ain't gonna be all that close. But Bama's defense is gonna give up some like lax touchdowns. Once they have like a 3 touchdown lead. But let me tell you something, Bryce Young is the freaking truth, man. That kid can absolutely ball.
Think he's gonna be the Heisman?
Oh, 100%. He's a lock, especially after what he did to Georgia. He lock. It's not even. I think I think he's minus 4,000 favorite to win the Heisman.
Really,
Yeah,
it's a
he's the
big
truth,
bet.
man. Yeah, Bryce Young really is great. But Cincinnati, congratulations for making it. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to be like the typical, mighty Alabama fan, but they have no shot. I mean, this is just like the multiple times that Alabama's played Notre Dame in the playoff and in the national championship. I mean, like, it's that one outside team sneaking in and just getting their brakes blown off by Nick Saban.
So right now you can move the line. If you want to, some sports books allow you to move the line. So you can move it to Bama minus 20.5 for plus 165. So you can get plus money if you want to go alternate line. And, Font's pretty confident it's gonna be a blowout. I think it's gonna be a 3 touchdown win. Move it to move it to minus 20.5 or minus 21. You're getting plus 165 plus 195. So somewhere in that area, just something to keep an eye on if that's something you're
I would
pretty
definitely
confident
take
in.
that. I know I'm gonna end up being greedy, and I'll probably take the alternate line with the what's the total on that game?
It was high. It was like 56, maybe.
I'm
Uh,
gonna take that in the over.
I actually
It's
just
gonna be
did
high. It'll be high scoring. It'll be high scoring. Alabama's defense, they get takeaways, but what's really important is they also have good scoring defense. And then at the same time, they'll let Cincinnati will get some touchdowns in there too. So Alabama's I think Alabama's gone over in almost every game this year.
It's been I think except the Iron Bowl. That was under. That was like 20.
Yeah,
That was
definitely,
22-20.
definitely not the Iron Bowl, but I think they've
I know
gone
I know we
over in
don't
almost
typically
every
do a lot
game.
of college football in here, but the college football coaching changes have been crazy. Brian
Oh,
Kelly
dude,
going
those have been
from
insane.
Notre Dame to LSU.
You like that? You like that?
Wild.
You like his fake Southern accent? Here, my family.
He's getting shit on a lot for the accent is bad and cultural appropriation. You can go down that rabbit hole if you want to. I will not do that. I enjoyed laughing at it, but the one thing that he's getting a lot of shit for that I don't have to defend him on is like the message that he sent to the team. Um, it's not in 2021. It is impossible to keep shit a secret. There are so many beat reporters, so many people on Twitter. Everyone knows something.
Yeah, he kind
Like,
of should have known it was going to get out.
but even he probably did know. And and he said it kind of right in the text messages where he's like, "I'm sorry, it had to come out this way." But like, that's just a reality of the 21st century. Where we're living in. College coaches are getting a lot of money, a lot of boosters. You got people tracking flights all day, every day. People that don't leave a computer are telling you where their private jets are going. Everyone knows the tail number of the
Yeah.
Ole Miss or
I mean,
whatever.
not for nothing, but Brian Kelly got double his salary. He got 14 mil at
Oh,
LSU, and he was only getting. I mean, like it's a no brainer, man. I mean, the guy
and
was
I
getting
mean,
double his money for LSU's recruiting pool that he can pull from in the South.
it's
With
huge for them.
he could build a really good. He'll win a national championship, and I'll guarantee it honestly that LSU will probably win another natty in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
every coach, the last three
it's
coaches
gonna
that
be a
come to
year where
LSU have all
it's
won a
gonna
title,
be
including Edo.
yeah. It's gonna be a year when Bama. It's gonna be a year when Bama has a little bit of a down year because they're gonna be in transition from probably Bryce going to the NFL and losing a lot of guys to the NFL. They're gonna be in a little bit of a down year. Probably have 2 losses and be out of the playoff picture. And it's just gonna be like the Joe Burrow year. And LSU is gonna be absolutely ridiculous probably at the skill positions, and they're gonna win.
Another
I could
crazy LSU
guarantee.
stat
I
is
can
that they haven't
guarantee
had
it.
a scholarship quarterback stay all 4 years since 2003 because Miles Brennan left today. They haven't had a
Crazy.
quarterback stay for their full 4-year scholarship since 2003. Now,
Their
it's for
quarterbacks have
multiple
been terrible. I mean, Joe Burrow transferred from OSU.
right.
Like
So
they didn't
they
even
haven't
he
been
didn't
they haven't
he
been
didn't
able
even
to
build
find the
there.
in-state people. They've been pulling people out of the clouds left and right. I guess the other really big move was fucking what's his name going from leaving Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley leaving Oklahoma,
Oh,
going to
Lincoln Riley going
USC.
to USC.
That listen, if you think Lincoln Riley is dumb or whatever, like he made the best decision for him. He's gonna instead of playing LSU, Mississippi State, like even these middle tier SEC teams, he's gonna go beat up on Washington, Utah, like Oregon State. Like UCLA, like these programs that are, the Pac-12 is a shitty football conference at the moment. Utah had a chance. Um, Oregon had a chance. Speaking of Oregon, Cristobal left for
Oregon,
Miami.
and
But like,
Cristobal from Miami.
right,
But
there's just
Oregon
someone.
is like Oregon's just been the one team there that's always been. And you know what? Not for nothing, Oregon was not that good this year. I don't know why they were ranked as high as they were up until they got I forgot
Because they
who
beat
they got
Ohio
upset
State.
by.
It's because they beat Ohio
Yeah, because
State,
they beat
and then in
Ohio
order to
State. It was like a
prop
random
up
game.
Ohio State in the Big Ten, you need to keep Oregon up there. So I mean, and we kind of saw that how maybe they propped up Ohio State for a little too long, and now the playoff rankings are out. So I mean, USC's a fucking when USC is great or USC is even good, college football is so much better. Great uniform, great stadium. If they're relevant, the last quarterback they had decent was Sam Darnold, and now the book is out on him. And yeah, like I said, instead of going to play these SEC powerhouses that have been recruiting in this area forever, you don't have to take your Big 12 like soft style into the SEC. You go run out in the Pac-12. You run a West Coast run and gun. You get fast guys. You get like the best athletes in the country are pretty much in
And he's
California
gonna have a
for
lot
the
of
most
fun. He's gonna
part.
have a lot of fun out there. He's gonna have a lot of fun, and
Exactly.
he's gonna bring Caleb Williams with him. He's gonna bring one of the quarterbacks from Oklahoma. I think it's gonna be Caleb. I think Spencer Rattler is kind of is done with Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, Rattler's toast. I don't even think Lincoln Riley's going to ask him to come to USC with him.
No,
Honestly.
I wouldn't.
Um,
He got beat
and
out
then
by a freshman.
and then I guess the last thing on the college coaching carousel is that they replaced him with the Clemson defensive coordinator, Venables, however you pronounce his name. And now that is the guy that you want to turn a Big 12 team into an SEC team. You're going to have to go start defense first, and then you go from there. And he's the guy. It seems like he's had a hell of a run down in Clemson as a D coordinator. He's a fucking intense dude. I don't know how it's going to translate to recruiting because people see how fucking crazy that guy is, and every shot we get on the sideline is him being held back by that ripped strength and conditioning coach. So I don't know how that's going to translate to like living rooms of recruits and all that stuff. But I mean, listen, if there's a guy that's going to get your Big 12 like soft defense in SEC shape in a few years, it's going to be him. So good for them. And then we'll see what happens from there. College football. So I mean, you're going to take Bama as your national champion, I would assume.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it ain't Cincy. As much as I want to say it's going to be someone other than Bama, like at this point, you're not. I'll go Georgia. I'll go Georgia. They're the best team in the country.
The best chance for somebody to beat Bama would be if Georgia beat Michigan. If Michigan wins that game, listen, Michigan is going to have no shot against Bama. I will tell you that right now. Georgia would probably have the best chance. It's very hard to beat a team twice, and obviously Kirby Smart knows Alabama. He hasn't been able to get the job done, but he's been real close. So, it would worry me to play Georgia again because it's very hard beating a team twice, especially in college football.
For sure. All right. Baseball. No basketball. We don't give a fuck about basketball right now. Basketball don't start until Christmas. We're still in the preseason.
Honestly, I fully agree with that. I don't really care for basketball until the Christmas Day games.
Yeah. Honestly, it's until you need someone to bet on. It's you need someone to get through the day on Christmas. You watch the Knicks at 12, and then whoever else, we just run through the slate and then go from there. Wrap up with some football. I guess we have the pick'em didn't go out last week. I'm sure I know you said you were tracking records. I don't have them off the top of my head. Pretty much Chick ran away with the pick'em contest. Unfortunately, he's been good.
Oh yeah, I had two bad weeks in a row, so it's pretty much over.
Yeah, it's
I could honestly call it here because it's like there's just not.
All right, so you know what? We will call it right here. Congratulations, Alex Chick. You are the Empire's finest pick'em champion. You smoked two of the, I'm the worst gambler on the site. Clearly, couldn't fucking get a simple win to save my life.
I'm hit or miss.
Yeah, we have good weeks and bad weeks. I don't really have any picks for this week. I guess we'll just kind of talk about the state of the NFL a little bit. First of all, Monday Night Football, what a game! 50-mile-per-hour winds. Mac Jones passing the ball 3 times and winning, crazy. But that game, that game was lost by Sean McDermott because Josh Allen proved that he could throw the ball effectively in the wind. You know, he had that drive going down where they scored pretty quickly.
Yep.
Without that punt return going off the guy's face mask, whatever, N'Keal Harry bounced off his face mask being recovered by the Bills. That's a very different game. But like, I don't know. Like to me, the loser of this game was McDermott. He got out coached. You know, you fucking know
Badly.
they're running the ball. Like clearly,
Bill Belichick threw it back to the arm to his West Point Army roots and just ran that
rocking the Navy
stupid
mask pregame,
triple
like
wing offense.
it looked like my high school offense where we were lucky if we passed the ball 5 times an entire game in perfect weather. You know, we were, you know, a downhill run team.
You guys ran that type of that
Oh
you
my
guys ran that
God.
like triple wing
Bro,
crap.
we ran the fucking
I
wing
hate
tee and if we got 4 yards of play, my coach was ecstatic. I mean, and we were winning, you know, we'd win games 21-6, but like that's just like for what it was for us, high school football, it's fine. You know, as a lineman, I love downhill blocking, so I'm not going to complain that I'm not, you know, sitting back on my heels getting rushed by the ends. But you know, in the NFL, you need to have a little bit of parity, it seems like. But and the Patriots didn't, and the Bills still couldn't stop it. I mean, stack the box, stack the box, stack the box. Like
The funniest thing was they did, man. There was one play, the Bills, I saw they had 11 guys in the box. Like they had 11 people in there. And the Patriots still ran for like 20 yards on the play. It was crazy what was going on. No matter what the Bill, then that's demoralizing. You know what's coming at you and you can't stop it. That's bad.
yeah, so the team I thought was in the Super Bowl, now they're not even first in the AFC, not first in the division. You know, the Bills will probably still make the playoffs because it's expanded a little bit. You get the extra team.
The Bills will make
But
the playoffs,
and
but
the AFC's good and
clearly
they're a good team,
they
but
need
it's
work.
just like
They need
that
work. They need work,
and
man.
we'll see what happens. You know, they play again the day after Christmas in Foxborough. We'll have a lot more of a idea of the playoff picture at that point, and we'll know what that game means. But just at the end of the day, we're gonna look at the back at like the history of football and this season and be like, the Bills lost in the game where the quarterback threw the ball 3 times. Like in a vacuum,
Crazy.
that seems impossible. But I
Crazy.
mean, let's just rattle off our top 5 power rankings. We didn't talk about this at all, but I mean, to me, the Chiefs are still number 1. They're kind of rounding back into form. The Jackson Mahomes curse is done. Apparently, he was there, you know, and it's pretty simple. It kind of seemed like once the expectations have leveled out, everyone was kind of calling the Chiefs frauds. They just got back to playing, you know, football. Like they're not doing crazy things. Mahomes is moving the ball methodically in the field. He's not taking stupid shots. He's taking what the defense gives him. They're moving up and down, and they're remembering they have Tyreek Hill, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce. Well, I mean, a lot of other people on that team don't have hands. There's a lot. They got like I think
No,
that
there's been a lot of drops. There's been a lot of drops going on.
But yeah, I mean, so
Like
they're the AFC team for me, and then who you got in the AFC? You think it's them still or no?
as the number 1 team in the AFC,
Yeah,
man, call me recency bias, but right now it's the Patriots. The winners are 7 straight. Mac Jones is Tom Brady 2.0.
relax with
Basically.
that one. Relax. 3 times, 1 for 3 at a 3.7 passer rating. I don't care how many times you throw the ball. It's got to be better than that.
Hey, listen, man. The Patriots are just good again. It's not even. Let me ask you this from a Jets fan perspective: how does it feel that Tom Brady left and the Patriots are the number 1 team in the AFC? 2 years.
It's so
later.
demoralizing. But honestly, I don't feel bad for Jets fans. Feel bad for Bills fans because they timed this perfectly. You know, they got a good team ready to go as soon as Tom was on his way out. You know, they have a good quarterback in Josh Allen. They have a lot of great pieces on that team. McDermott's a good coach, not great, but good enough. But those fans have to be so demoralized, man. Like, go from Tom Brady to some fucking random. No, he wasn't even. He was for the most of like the pre-draft analysis. He wasn't a top 4 quarterback. You know, there were Trey Lance was ahead of him, and then now
he was
when it was a 7 straight.
he was like one of the last quarterbacks taken in that first round out of the big name ones.
It's crazy, and that's what they did, and they turned it around with him. It makes you think that, like, that is no doubt about it, the best. That's the best coaching staff in the history of NFL, like ever. Like him, McDaniels, and it was for a
Gotta
long
be.
time Matt Patricia, but now it's Steve Belichick. If
Bill Belichick's yeah, Bill Belichick's
yes,
son. Yeah.
Steve with their fucking tongue. So I mean, that's just a great staff. Their guys are clearly prepared. That's pretty much it. So I mean, in the NFL, it looks like you either have no fun or you win with the Patriots, and that's pretty much it. But I mean, if we'll go, give me your AFC, NFC championship prediction, and we'll do Super Bowl, and then next week we'll get back into picks and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I could give you my so AFC championship right now. You know what? I'll give a wild one. I have a wild one. I'll go Patriots Cincy.
Really?
I feel like the Chiefs defense still isn't, although they've been playing a lot better. I feel like there's still something wrong with their offense. They're gonna come across a team like Cincinnati, who's going to one day have an offensive explosion, and it could be at the right time for them and the wrong time for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs can end up losing to the Bengals, and it'll be Bengals. It could end up being Bengals Patriots in the AFC Championship game. NFC Packers Cardinals, and I don't really know if anyone could give me another argument otherwise. They are clearly the two best teams in the NFC. There are a lot of good teams in the NFC. Tom Brady and the Bucks being one of them. However, there's got to be a time when this guy doesn't make it to the Super Bowl. There just has to be. There has to be, man. There's
We're
just
gonna
no
have to
way
see
he
how
can
the
keep
playoffs
going
shake
there.
out. Well, yeah, I actually think it's gonna be Arizona Packers as well. But we'll have to see. It depends how it all seeds out. Depends where the Patriots are. But like if it's not the Patriots, if the Bucks are just continuously going to be home and they're gonna have a good seeds, like it's gonna be hard to bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs. And I did in the Super Bowl. I hit with that last year. Him versus Mahomes. It's just like Tom Brady is the one. If I see Tom Brady as an underdog, I'm smashing every time. Same way I should have smashed Saban as an underdog. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers. My bold take is that Aaron Rodgers wins the Super Bowl this year and then rides off in the sunset. We never hear from him again. He was so fed up with how everything gone down this year. I don't think that maybe first it was a Packers thing, and now it's just realizing that's maybe just like an NFL media and an NFL thing, and he might just be out. If he doesn't win, he's going to go elsewhere and win and prove that he can do what that he can win other places. And
The
I
guy
don't
has
know where
been, I think, 5 straight NFC championships. I
he's
think.
ridiculous. He's
I think he's been to
absolutely
five. He's been
ridiculous.
to five. He's been to a lot of NFC championships, man. And he hasn't won a single one since 2012, which is actually a crazy thing. This guy continuously just keeps losing to he just can't get past the one team in the NFC every year.
Yeah, he keeps rotating through
It's
him.
actually nuts.
Yeah, I do think that this might be the year. I guess my weak point of the prediction would be the Cardinals. I know that they're really good right now and they've won without Kyler, but like something
And now
about that
Kyler's
team,
back and he looks good.
but
Kyler's
something
back
about
and
that team
he looks
screams
good.
like playoff upset disappointment. Like, I'm not saying Kyler's gonna have a bad game, but like if all of a sudden your defense can't stop a fucking, a nosebleed, then you're
Hmm.
gonna have a tough time playing catch up in any league, no matter who you have. And they have offensive weapons to do that, but they just seem team that's gonna get like it's gonna get caught in a playoff, whether it's a bad matchup.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals will get the number 1 seed, and they'll end up playing the 4 or 5 seed or the 6 seed, whichever one gets left over. They're gonna end up playing. They're gonna end up playing the worst team left in the playoffs. The Cardinals get the 1 seed. They'll win that game. Um, they'll go to the NFC Championship, and and I think that they'll probably the Packers will probably do it to them again.
I think the biggest thing for me this season is that the NFC East might have two playoff representatives, which is crazy because the football team is playing well. Taylor Heineke is shocking the world. He's not playing out of his mind, incredible or anything, but they're finding ways to win. The defense that was absent for the first half of the year is finally starting to click. They're kind of in on, I guess they're buying into what Ron Rivera is selling, considering in the beginning of the year, he was saying how last year's wins are, set this team up for poor expectations. Now they're firing on all cylinders, but they're, it's going to be, if the Cowboys and the football team make it, that'll be a really disappointing mark in the NFC if you let the worst division get 2 guys in there.
Maybe it's not the worst division anymore.
Maybe not. I don't. And then
I would say
even
the NFC South is pretty bad. Besides the Bucks, I mean, the
well,
Bucks have no
yeah,
competition.
Texans, Saints. Who's the fourth team in that?
Or no, no, the Texans. It's Saints, Panthers, and Falcons.
Yeah, true. Falcons sneaky though. Like Falcons used to be on my do not bet team like all the time, but now they're finding ways to keep games close. Matty Ice is doing the thing. He's kind of back. I thought
I
for
feel
sure
so
he was
bad
gonna
for Matty Ice, man. I feel bad for the guy. He's like, because
why.
he's still got it. He's still got it. Like he could go to like a contender and win
Just
with
think about
them
how different we look at the Falcons and Matt Ryan if he doesn't take that sack in the
if they
Super
don't
Bowl third down.
and
If he doesn't,
if
not
they don't
even
blow.
yeah. Listen,
Not even the 20, not even the 26-3 or whatever.
not
It was
even the
26-3.
25-point comeback. It's more the fact that he took that sack, which knocked him out of field goal range when he clearly could have thrown the ball away, gotten it. Like there's so many things he could have done, and it's hard to focus on a single play, in retrospect and be like that moment defined his career. But I mean, shit, you don't take a sack.
We're looking at Matt Ryan a lot differently if he does
And
win
you're
that Super
saying
Bowl.
Matt
Because think
Ryan,
about it,
Super
he'll have
Bowl
an MVP,
champion.
a Super Bowl MVP, a Super Bowl champ. The guy will have all the rewards. So
Yeah. But now he's just the guy. He's the meme of the 28-3. He's the face of the guy who got 25-point comeback on. All right, I'm gonna give you one little parlay. I don't have my picks. I haven't obviously without a show we haven't been doing, our three best bets. I will say I have been betting on the Jets, which is unfortunate because I am like last week.
I've noticed.
Yeah, I've been upset about that. Wow, we have a great week. Thursday Night Football is Chiefs Chargers. Whoo, whoo, what a game.
No, Chiefs Chargers. No, the Giants played the Chargers this week.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong week. What week are we in? We're week 14. No.
This week.
Okay, yeah, it's
4.
Steelers Vikings. Puke. I won't even watch that Thursday night game. All right, so I'm gonna give you.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, shout out to the Lions. Their first dub.
Shout out to Jared Goff's girlfriend for that video and NFL media being the horniest group of people on earth. That was so funny. That video, like, I don't know, it had like 5 million views in 4 hours because all the NFL beat reporters were toasting it. Like, wow, so cool. Like, we get it, dude. You've seen some tits for the first time in a decade. First time in a decade. Wow, we got a tough board this week. Tough board. We kind of just talked about this. I'm taking the Falcons. I'm all over. Panthers are fucking capital F frauds. I bet on Cam Newton after he came back. Not after the game where he scored 2 touchdowns on 2 plays. It was the game where he went 5 for 21. That game. So I'm out on the Panthers. I'm out on. They fired Matt Rule. Not Matt Rule. They fired
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady. He is someone that I really, really want the Jets to hire. Like poor Joe Brady. You get Teddy Bridgewater and whoever else you have for a year. And
I don't know what they wanted him to. I don't know what they wanted him to do, man.
Like you're supposed to
always hurt. CMC's always hurt. And Cam Newton is doable, but he's not the quarterback that you wanted. Like there's you can't. There's nothing you could do.
Like Sam Darnold, you're not that guy, pal. Unfortunately, I might be I was
definitely not.
I was one of the last people on the Sam Darnold train. I thought he'd be good in Carolina. I mean, listen, I'll always have my week 1 best bet where he beat the Jets in a statement game. That was pretty much it. That was the last time anyone's ever heard from Robbie Anderson this year. I swear to God, he caught 1 touchdown and that was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Against the Jets, but that's pretty much it. So Falcons, we're gonna parlay this. So Falcons. Wow, Ravens are 2.5-point underdogs to the Browns. Now, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson sucks. Trey was right. He might not suck.
Oh, now you're getting on.
Okay.
Now you're on the
let me walk
Lamar
that back.
Jackson bandwagon.
Let me walk that back a little bit. Lamar Jackson is not a quarterback you're going to be able to consistently win the NFL with. He backed up 25 yards and or he had a fucking 15-step drop, and then he threw the ball and he thought he was going to throw it away. Where does he float the ball? Straight to the dead center of the end zone. Intercepted. Then Mark Andrews, wide open on 2-point conversion, overthrows him. Can't get a throw right. He's great. He's great in his feet. I go back and forth on him all the time because this year I was very much like he's not going to be a quarterback that can lead you down to win a game. But even the games he won, he's threw 4 interceptions a few weeks ago and they won. Like They're barely pulling shit out. Trey describes it as they're the team that's bailed by their kicker the most. I don't know why they went for 2. If you're the better team, you win the football game in regulation. I mean, if you're the better
understand.
team, you
Yeah,
can win the game in
you just
overtime.
you go to overtime, but I understand why they did it was because John Harbaugh said that his remaining DBs got hurt and wouldn't be able to continue to play. So he was kind of like, we either got to win or lose on this play because overtime, if the Steelers win the coin toss, I don't like our chances of stopping them.
Still, I mean, you're putting the game down to a coin flip, and that, I guess, I mean, the counter argument is that you play to win the game, you don't play not to lose, but you're the better team, clearly the better team, and it's just Ravens fans should be pissed, and I don't know who to be mad at. If you're mad at Harbaugh, you're mad at Lamar, or you're mad at the worlds, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I guess I'm going to change it. I'm not going to do a parlay. I'm just going to give 3 picks because it's a little bit dicey. So I'm going Falcons plus 2.5. I am going to lay the 9 with the Chiefs. It's a really big number. I know they're not great at covering, but the Raiders just lost to the football team. Derek Carr is fucking buns, but I reserve the right to change that pick. If I do, I'll tweet it out. And then I guess the last one would be Giants are 10.5-point dogs with Jake Fromm.
Jake from State Farm.
You know what? Fuck that. I'm taking the Bengals -1. Really disappointing last week. Joe Burrow's pinky was fucking disgusting. The shit was fat as shit. It was a savage. Popped it back in. That game pretty much came down to one play. Joe Mixon fumbling.
Yeah.
And going the other way.
Okay. I think they'll be okay this week.
I think they'll be okay too. I don't know if, you have them in that's your long shot for the AFC Championship game. I don't know if I see that, but we have a good 425 slate. Got
it is Bills, Bucks, Bengals, Niners.
Yeah, bad Sunday night game with the Packers and the Bears. I'm really surprised it didn't get flexed out, but Bills, Bucks, and then 49ers, Bengals. It's pretty much it. The rest of the 4 o'clock slates kind of sucks. It's the last week. I think it's the last week of bye weeks.
Yeah, bye weeks are over after this week,
and we're gonna get going. So I mean, listen, fantasy football. If you're a fantasy football guy, playoffs are upcoming. So get ready.
My playoffs are next week.
Yeah, same for me. But
last game of the regular season this week.
I know a few leagues that start today. The playoffs start this week. So if you're in that, good luck. Anything else? I mean, so I guess I kind of said in the beginning, but in 2022, a lot of the feedback from the show was that, other than the people that called us boring, which was funny,
who said we were boring?
It's all anonymous. But the same people that called us boring also called Carl and Cervantes boring. So they don't know what they're talking about clearly. Carl's a fucking electric factory and Cervantes is smart as shit. But so 2022, we're going to start bringing back guests, whether it's Vendetta, outside. We're going to start cranking the podcast back up. We're going to get some timestamps going. I think for the most part, the general idea is that we're going to probably leave the Vendetta stuff out of the show. Just keep, people want to keep it strictly. They don't want to hear stuff back and forth. I don't know. We'll see. I think if anything relevant happens, it'll still be brought up because, that's who we are and it's a Vendetta sports media show. But at the end of the day, we'll try and keep it sports. Get some segments. We'll get some guests. We'll try and bring people in. Get things going. That's pretty much it for this week. Font, you got anything else? Anything? Would be missed?
I would say the only thing would probably be game that I'm going to be betting on probably heavy is going to be Packers laying the 12.5 against the Bears. Bears have no shot. They absolutely suck, and they're playing in Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to win that game by 30.
-12.5. I would have been all about that, except I feel like underdogs have covered every primetime game. Like there hasn't been a primetime game or a favorite covered. I could be wrong on that. And I bet you're going to get, let me know the money splits on that. Where's the public going?
That is a good call.
I bet you if this line gets to anything closer to 13, and it was 10.5 right now, you said?
12.5. So I was going to try to take it now.
12.5?
Yeah.
A week ahead. Yeah, so if that's a 12, if you get that outside of 14, I doubt it's going to go to outside of 14, but
I might
I don't
backtrack
know.
on that. 82% of the 82% of the bets are on the Packers and
Yeah,
97% of the money's on the Packers.
I'm all it's all Bears for me. And it's not even a game that I necessarily like love to bet, but it's just like prime time. I feel like dogs have been barking in the primetime games. It's such a big number. You know, Aaron Rodgers can still win the game handily and they not cover. And especially, you know, I could see Matt Nagy trying to save his job, getting, you know, a last minute backdoor cover, put some points on the board and be like, look, see, like we're scoring points. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully, you know, next week I'm hoping we're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled content programming schedule. I'm sure Hunter's missed us. I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. So um, it's been fun. You know, make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. Trey got a PS5, so you know what that means. We're getting strictly NHL 22 content. He's doing rebuilds,
Yeah.
he's doing franchise mode. It's actually been pretty fun to watch. But that's pretty much it. Subscribe, like the video, drop a comment down below, and then yeah, I guess same time next week. See you guys. See you guys then.